If you are here, then you're probably curious about having multiple Etsy stores. Now, in this day and age, you're always seeing people talk about have more than one stream of income, and having multiple Etsy stores is a great way to do that. I actually have 18 stores that I have built up over the last 7 years, so it definitely didn't happen overnight for me. It's been a long process and I've learned so much along the way. So I'm gonna jump in, but before I do, I wanted to talk about niching. So what is a niche? Basically, we have general niches and we have things which are a little bit more niched down. Now, you'll notice in some of my stores they are quite general, but the ones which are sort of quite successful are niched in significantly more than the bigger ones. That's something I learned along the way. So for example, you may think that stationery is a niche enough sort of narrow field to create digital products for, but I've definitely found it's better to create a store around a certain type of stationery. For example, baby shower invites is a great one, bridal shower, weddings. All of these are great niches and they do really, really well as stores on their own. So if you are thinking of doing multiple Etsy stores, this is what I suggest. I suggest first, if it's your very first Etsy store, just putting everything in the one store. Work on that one store, really listen to your customers, see what works, make more products based around what you learn from that. And as that becomes like a full-time wage, that is when I would consider adding like another store into the mix, because you don't want to sort of start 18 stores with no products in there and make no money. That's just going to cause headaches, it's going to be stressful, and it's just going to waste your time really. What you want to do is get into Etsy, do one store really, really well. It can be broad in the beginning, and then when you have reached that point where that's profitable to a full-time wage, that is when I would recommend starting a new store in a new niche. So let's jump in. I'm so excited to be showing you around my stores today. It's been a huge process. I started on Etsy 7 years ago, so that's a long time ago. It's almost 8 years now. So yeah, it's a huge amount of time ago, but it changed my life completely. And yeah, I still have lots of profitable Etsy stores and they are a significant part of my business. Is my very first store. It's Hey Lovely Co. Well, not my very first store. It's the store which has been most successful, but it's the one I check first in terms of which one I check every day. So it has over 50,000 sales and it's very, very broad. So this was a real experiment of volume for me. It's obviously Etsy is search based, so I really wanted to see what would happen if I added a huge amount of products. There's 11,000 products in this store. And it's around 4 years old. So I remember Remy Bear, our third oldest baby, he was just like a little baby in a bouncer when we were making this store. So yeah, it's funny how quickly time flies, but that is Hey Lovely Co. Okay, Instabite. This is another one. So this one has 5,759 sales as of today. Now, this one is, again, fairly broad. It's another invitation store. The biggest difference with this one is I really up-leveled the thumbnails. This was a really interesting store for me because it was the first time I really saw the impact of picking a trending product. So this is the first store that I really picked trending products like Love Story, the game, or the weddings shoe game. There's lots and lots of very sort of niched down products in this store, and it did really, really well because of that. So that is Instabite. Okay, the next store I have is Georgette Papery. Now this store is a printable and printed store. So I am, up until this point in time, I've done printed stationery with my beautiful brother Jack. He does all the printing and I've done all the design, and this was a store which was just sort of, it was an experiment in simplicity. So I was uploading lots of really, really simple designs. They're obviously very white and very simple, and I wanted to see how they did. It did really, really well. It's made over 1,000 sales, which is really cool. This is one that I'm going to actually be closing because I'm going to actually be giving fabled papery to my brother. He's going to run it going forward, which is really exciting. I know that he's going to do an incredible job taking that over because he is an amazing businessman himself. So Georgette Papery is actually going to merge into fabled papery and they're going to become one big business, and Jack is now going to run them. So that's super exciting. Alright, so this one here, looking mighty fine. Now, this store has a bit of a story behind it. It used to be a PDF printable store, so it used to be called filigree papery, and it used to be very greenery based in terms of the invitations that were on there. It's obviously made quite a few sales, so 2,765 sales. When filigree papery really, it sort of downgraded to the point where it wasn't profitable anymore, I decided to revamp it and just turn it into a social media post store just to see how it went. So it's gone really, really well. The posts on here sell really well, and it's a great little earner. Now this one is a really interesting one. This is another one where I really up-leveled my thumbnails, and to the point where I really added a lot of thumbnails within the actual design, and the conversion rate on these products is insane. Like, it's way higher than Hey Lovely, for example. So obviously there's a lot less products in this store compared to Hey Lovely. There's only 1,224, but again, I utilized the niches that I found out in Instabite, and I also obviously up-leveled all the product images, and it's been really successful. So this is another one. So natural papery, this one is another one which is really interesting. Another one that was an instant download PDF before template was available. So back in the day, back before Remy Bear was born, so around 5 years ago, I made this store. It was originally called Plum Hollow Press. I ended up rebranding it, but it's still going really well. These products tend to sell really, really well, which is really great. There's only 28 products in this store, but it's got some really good best sellers in here, so it's still profitable, which is really cool. Course creators. Now this one is it's actually my very first Etsy store. I've rebranded it so many times, but this is my little baby Etsy store, still in existence. It's changed names heaps and heaps and heaps of times. It was She Hustles, it was Lovely Pixel Co. It was so many different names, but now it is Course Creators, and it has 3,585 sales. So there's only 2 products in here. I'm obviously in the middle of rebranding it because this is going to be attached to my Course Creators Society membership, and yeah, I hope it's going to go well. These are already selling, which is really exciting, and I'm really excited just to see how the whole store does. Pink Pony Papery. This is another niche store. Obviously you can see I'm big into the niches, but they do really well. So if you are thinking of expanding and starting another store, I definitely recommend picking a niche. Pink Pony is a kids' birthday invitation store. So it has lots of kids' birthday invites, and it has all the stationery that goes with it. It's made 4,799 sales. Okay, this is an example of a niche store. Now, Bonjour Baby Papery, it's basically just baby shower invitations and stationery. So this is where I really niche down just to baby showers, and it's done really well. It's got 5,223 sales. So this one has been going for around 4 years, and it's still going strong, which is awesome. Next one on the list is another niche down store. This one is the Bride Tribe Co. So this one is all bridal shower invitations and all the stationery that goes with it. So this one is going really well as well. It's got over 5,000 sales, so 5,021 sales. And yeah, it's gone really, really well. Next on the list. The Elegant Boss. Now this one was an experiment in Canva templates. So back in the day, this one was called Bloom Papery. It was just really, really simple printables, which were black and white, and they were super, super simple, and they were for weddings. So that was the niche that it was. When it sort of degraded to the point where it wasn't profitable anymore, I decided to rebrand the whole thing, and I did, and I was shocked because it's only got 5 products and it's done really, really well. It still brings in consistently $50 a week, which is amazing for 5 products, and it's all Canva templates, which are in that sort of design style, that blush pink, and it does really well. So there's 2,656 sales just there. weddings, the printable store. It's nostalgic. I can't believe it's still holding on. It's the one that I made after my very first store. So it was the very first time I really branched out into like just solid printables for weddings. And yeah, it's got 950 products. It's actually got like 5,000 products, but as they've become unprofitable, I've deactivated them and it's just kind of shrinking, but I'm shocked that it's still performing at this point in time because it's literally like 6.5 years old. So it's very, very old. All of this stuff I made like years and years and years ago and it's still selling, which is really cool. So it's got 11,956 sales. And yeah, I am probably going to close this one down because of the merge with Jack, my brother, taking over Fabled. I'm going to have a think about what I'm going to do with this store, but I'm not quite sure yet. But I think I will either change the name and rebrand and just completely gut it, or I will give this one as well. So this is the Fabled Papery. This was my third store that I ever made. It's got 5,359 sales and it's a mix of printables and actually printed stationery, which my brother does. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's this was my joy for a long time. I was so passionate about stationery. I like would go to sleep thinking about it. It's all I could think about, just designing beautiful stationery. I don't know what changed with me. I think I've just become more passionate about coaching. I love teaching people because I'm all about human connection. I love getting that sort of instant feedback and helping people build their stores. So I think I've sort of changed in that regard. I've realized that with coaching, I can reach a lot more people, whereas with wedding stationery, obviously they're sort of one-off designs where you go in and you design them and then you work really closely with the couple. So it's very hands-on. But yeah, no, I will always look back on this store as one of the biggest sort of milestones in my business. But yeah, this is the one which is going to be, well, I'm not going to be closing it, but I'm going to be gifting it to my brother. So it'll no longer be one of my stores that I manage. So mockitcurry, this one is a photography one. So it's totally different from all the other stores. And it is all like beautiful photography that people can use and buy and put their invitations into just to sort of mock it up so it looks like it's printed. And yeah, you can see someone's used it here. So that is exactly what it's for. And it still does well. This is a strong performer for us. I know it's only got 684 sales, but they're quite decent sort of sales in terms of how much they are valued at. And there's nothing required in terms of maintaining the store, really. There's like a message once a month and that's about it. So very, very passive in terms of the income it provides. And yeah, I love this store. It's great. I use all the mock-ups myself. All right, you probably know brownsugar. Brownsugar is one of my biggest stores. It's my Canva template store and it's the store that I created after the pandemic hit. So obviously the pandemic hit, all our invitation stores just went and I was just like, what am I going to do? So I made brownsugar. I launched brownsugar and it was incredibly successful. I know it says it's only got 4,458 sales, but these sales are considerable. So they were definitely a step up in how much the average order value was from my invitation stores. And it was just a new niche for me. Going back into business, it kind of was coming full circle from when I started my very first store, which was selling Etsy banners. And it did really, really well. So it's still a strong performer to this day. Okay, Envy. Envy is another invitation store, and for this store I really focused on bundles. That was the main sort of point of focus for this store for me, and it's been really, really successful. I love that all the collections, I've coded them in a way so that you can go into them, you can grab the code and you can literally just search in the store, because I didn't do this in Hey Lovely, that massive store with 11,000 products. It's a nightmare to find anything in that store, but this store is well organized. This one I created at the start of last year and it's gone incredibly well, and it's just over 2,000 sales. Okay, we need to have a bad one in here. This one has not done well. The partygameshop. Okay, so I was like, yeah, party games. I reckon they'd be great. I think they do outstanding on Etsy. Turns out they did not do well. I think it's just too competitive just to have these printable party games in here. They haven't gone well. Well, some people have them in there currently. So this is a store that I think I'm going to close. It's not really that profitable anymore. It's only got 47 products in it. And yeah, I'm thinking of closing this one. And finally, that Jessa be. This is another Canva template store. It's gone really well. It's got 83 products in it. I started at the very start of the year when I started my very first cohort of Etsy Superstar. So when I ran that course live, I actually created this store and showed you how I did it, and I uploaded all these products. I haven't added anything since, and it's gone really well. It still consistently brings in between $50 and $100 a week with very, if any, maintenance at all. So 191 sales there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and stopping past my channel. I hope that you found it interesting just to see all my Etsy stores. One of the main reasons I wanted to make this video today is it's a bit of a milestone week for me. As some of you know, I started my coaching business last November. So since then, I've been teaching people how to create digital products and sell on Etsy and create passive income. I do some course creation teaching as well. So that's grown really, really quickly, actually a lot quicker than I expected it would. And I actually love it a whole lot more than I thought I would. So as that sort of reached the point where it is a more than a full-time income on its own, I will be focusing on that for the rest of the year. For me, I'm switching up the focus of my business. I'm actually going to be gifting some of my Etsy stores to family members. I'm going to be closing a couple off, and I'm going to probably end up with 15. So I wanted this video just to really document the milestone of having 18 stores and just showing you that they did exist, because I always like to back up whatever I'm telling you with proof. So I hope you found it interesting. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in learning digital products or course creation or just curious about passive income, I would love you in my world. So please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you're interested in, what digital products you want to make. Thank you again, guys. I will see you soon.